This is not the Horseshoe Lounge, but they are deluxe accommodations.
It is deluxe accommodations.
We are here for the Rooster Show. We are down in Texas, getting ready for the Cotton Bowl, one day away. We have Nicole Cox. We have Jeremy Birmingham. I am Austin Ward. No Jay-Z, no Bob.
No.
And a little bit of a shorter show, but we are getting ready for Ohio State and Missouri Friday night, the last one of the year. Nicole, you've got the Roosters Bowl Trip.
We do. We have some of our Bowl Trip winners here. That is so exciting. And they're having the best time.
How's the travel
Shouldn't
experience?
they tell us that?
Yes, they should. I asked
You're
this
having
morning.
the best time or else.
You have no choice.
It's been wonderful. Travel Partners of Dublin has done a phenomenal job. It's this hotel. I mean, look behind us, just like the Christmas decor and just holiday. It's just very festive and it's beautiful.
Is this the first time that the winners have been at the team hotel?
Second time.
Second time.
We were, I can't remember where we were last time, but we were. Yeah.
I would think that's got to be pretty cool. We walked in here. We're not getting to stay in these deluxe accommodations, Perm and I.
You can, guys.
You know, you see Mickey Marotti walking around. You see staffers. This is where Ohio State is staying. That's got to be pretty cool as well.
We've seen players as well, right? When we got here, Cade Stover, Tommy Eichenberg, we walked right by them, which I think is it's a great experience for our winners and for everyone here.
Did you ask Tommy if he was playing?
I didn't. No, I just waved. I was like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't think he will, which is unfortunate. I think that's one of the worst parts of this week is that, Tommy Eichenberg's working back from that injury, and it's not an NFL draft opt-out or something like that. Nicole, but you've watched him play for a number of years, and the fact that he has to go out with that bad taste in his mouth, it stinks for him.
It does. And I understand it both ways. He needs to think about his career, and you do think about, me, I get anxious about everything. And just the fact of them going out and playing and possibly getting injured and not being able to play in the NFL, I understand it. And bless his heart, you can tell he absolutely loves this team and wanted to win so badly. And it makes me very sad for him, but I understand too. He's got to make sure he's healthy. And so I'm anxious to see who all will be playing. New guys, new talent, and we've got to start formulating that new team of players that are actually going to play next season.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing with Tommy is that you look at Cade Stover, who's also been dealing with nagging injuries. Like, Cade's going to play. If Tommy could play, he would play.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and while it hasn't been officially ruled out, we'll find out tomorrow. But, you see him doing a lot less in practice when we were there on Tuesday and Wednesday than Cade. But those guys are desperate to have one more game with Ohio State helmets on. And it does suck. That's the hard part about college football, and the awesome part is that window closes and it's over. It's not like the NFL where you just keep going until you say, I've had enough.
Or they tell you've had enough, which is hard.
It chooses the game, the rules choose for you, and that sucks for Tommy. And hopefully we get a chance. I bet you he will be fully dressed one way or the other on Friday night. That's not a guy who's going to be out there in sweats.
No, he's an incredible teammate. You can tell I think out of all the players that I've been watching the past few seasons with you guys, you can see that passion. He's that kid, that anxious, always on the sidelines, ready to go. And we'll always admire him for that and remember him that way. My thing. I always remember how you want to be remembered in life.
Legacy.
Yes, legacy.
Yeah, I talked to Cade about some of that.
I tried to get him to cry.
Wednesday. It looked like he was going to. So I asked him about both of them. So they, Nicole, we all talked about them living together and their close relationship, Tommy and Cade. They both get in the middle of the year. Cade's got to have surgery on, he's got a knee injury, he's got a wrist injury. He's missing games. Tommy hurts his elbow. He's missing games in November. They both could have left for the NFL a year ago, wanted to come back, wanted to push, wanted to keep living together, wanted to keep working out together, wanted to play another season with the Buckeyes, and then you can't control that part. Yeah. And so they're Cade's like, well, that's the best man in my wedding, that's my best friend. And they're both having to fight through these injuries. I don't know that Cade's going to be able to play every snap. He kind of admitted that on Wednesday, that he's still a little banged up. It's one of those Buckeye leave heartstring moments for you, Nicole. It's so hard. Not that they just lost the game, but their season did not go the way they wanted in terms of health and anything else.
That's one part of this entire industry, of this profession, that I can't imagine going through. Even in the NFL, when you work your hardest every single day and they're like, well, it's not good enough and you're done. Yeah. But we look at these guys, there's no doubt that they are the best of the best and have worked the hardest. And I think that that's part of the lesson of all of this. I really do. And it's, we look at Cameron Babs, you know, from last year, it didn't go his way. And he just kind of learned from that and just was like, okay, well, this can be my path. So I'm going to be the guy that's pumping everyone else up. And you can see that in Tommy and Cade as well, but it definitely pulls on the heartstrings. I mean, that's such a big chunk of your life, a special part, and it's changing, and it's a forced change, you know?
3 years in the NFL, you get a pension though. So like in college, like you're 3 years and you're dealing with all this stuff and then it's over. Mm-hmm. And those guys have made an impact on this program that is going to last a long time. You heard Brian Hartline on Wednesday talking about Cade Stover and the toughness, and he's the backbone of the offense. And I asked him on Wednesday at the press conference, like, can you imagine when you left Lexington High School in Little Mansfield, Ohio, that as a safety, that you'd come in and be a linebacker and then go back to playing defensive end, and then all of a sudden, like, you're not only leaving as a tight end, you're leaving as one of the most productive tight ends in school history. Like that is an incredible journey that Cade Stover has been on. And he said, I haven't really thought about it. And then he started to tear up, and then he stopped himself.
I mean, I feel like I could tear up.
And I was like, man, I thought I had him. I asked him, I said, when the Ohio State coaches go to Garrett, so Cade's younger cousin, Garrett Stover, just signed his letter of intent with Ohio State, so he'll join the team next week. And I said, when they go to Garrett and ask him to maybe play safety, what should he tell them? And he told him, stay at linebacker. Don't let them move you. So I think underneath it all, I think there's a part of him that's like, what would have happened if he would have been in the right spot 5 years ago?
Yeah, so that'll be the end of a couple decorated careers. And while Marvin Harrison Jr. has not officially said anything, and Brian Hartline decided to have a little fun at my expense on Wednesday, said, hey, Marv looks like he's in pain, that he's not practicing, and he's obviously not going to play in the game on Friday night. He's like, how do you know he's not playing? I don't. I just have 2 eyes and a brain. We're not going to see him. And that part, I think everybody, if Marv got to choose and there was no risk of injury, obviously he's going to play.
Obviously, yes.
But there is. And there's $35 million at stake. So,
and there is. And obviously we want him to play, to watch him again, to see him. He brings so much to the team, but I understand that side of as well. And that's what it is. It's like college moving into their profession, and their physical body depends on that. You know, you think about little things, just them messing around outside, or like leaving a ball out in the house. Like you've got to be careful. Like your body is everything for your career. So
what is the number of millions that you're like, once you've passed this threshold, you can't risk it? Like, that's what I mean. I mean,
for me, guys, that would be
can I get one?
I was like, that'd be $1 million.
Let me hold one, Berm.
Because we think about Marv and say, okay, he's going to be a top 3, top 5 pick. It's $35-40 million. Like, and so it's nonsensical to think he could play. But is there a point? Is it like 11 million he's still in? Like, I just don't know. Like, we had this conversation 2 weeks ago at Roosters. I don't think it matters. Like, if you want to play. I think he's going to be in full uniform. I don't think he will play. I don't think the coaches will let him play, because they are probably going to make the harder decision for him so that he doesn't have to.
You think that's why he was in such pain? Because they said, no, Marvin.
I do think they basically will shelf him for his own good. And
which that says, not to interrupt you, but that says a lot about Ohio State. I mean, they also have a job to make sure we win, to make sure we look the best we can. And if they're making a decision and for us to make a decision, for them to make a decision for their future, I think that's a lot to be said for the school.
Yeah, I mean, they're not saying that for Travion Henderson. They're going to put him out there and let him run it 25 times if they have to. But
I was trying to find the positives.
No, but it's a different. That's what I'm saying. That's the scenario where the coaches go, you're going to make this amount of money in 3 months. We are not going to risk that for you. Or Travion, like, obviously the conversation's different. And so you look at a kid and you say, we know you want to play, but sorry, like this, we've seen the Jake Butt injury. We've seen the Jalen Smith injury. You can't just risk that. And it stinks. It does stink, because people want to see Marv do Marv things. And
I see
You
both
will.
sides.
You will see Marv do Marv things in the NFL in 8 months.
In 8 months. Nicole, my view on this game changed a lot from Selection Sunday till we're sitting here right now. There's a lot, certainly the way Ohio State has talked about trying to win this game and the importance to them has alleviated some of the quote-unquote exhibition part, that it doesn't count for anything, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's fun for the Roosters Bowl Trip giveaway winners. It's fun for us to cover that game and see an opportunity. So I've got more excited as it's got closer.
Good.
Were you always excited for this game? Okay. All right.
Yes.
I should have known.
Mean, I am, because it's still a bowl game. And you look at Missouri, that they never get to go to bowl games, and they think this is the greatest thing in the entire world. My personal experience was when UD and basketball went to the Elite Eight, and every game they won, they're just like, oh my goodness, we made it further. Like, they were like just over the moon excited. And so you see that with Missouri, and it's a nice feeling, it's like, so I think for Ohio State, we're still at a bowl game.
Yeah.
We are still at a bowl game. It's beautiful here. And I understand where Ohio State's coming from. I understand, but I don't know. I'm excited.
But anecdotally, you guys were in this hotel last night, and coaches from both teams were mingling. The Missouri coaches were having a great time, living it up like they had just won the Super Bowl. And the Ohio State coaches, you said, were like business as usual, right?
So yeah, I think that they're still having a great time.
I think they like that they can be here with their families and do that.
I know they love that. Yeah.
This game has a different vibe for Ohio State.
Absolutely. And I do understand that. And again, I try to just see the positive, and that way I also like to think of it like, so we're here at the Cotton Bowl. It's not a playoff game. Next year, when we do get to a playoff game, it's going to mean that much more, because it's that much more of a step towards, success.
I think whenever you're dealing with two teams that are on different levels, the reality of it is this is the biggest bowl game Missouri's been in maybe ever. And this is the fifth best bowl game Ohio State's been in the last 5 years. So it's easy for you to look at it from Ohio State perspective and say, how do you get excited for this? But if Missouri beats Ohio State, it's the biggest win in their program's history. It is a validating thing for Eli Drinkowitz to say, we've done it. We're now one of the elite, which is not true, but that's what they will sell and what they will tell, and you can't really argue it. If Ohio State loses the game, there will be people who say the Ohio State program is finished, even though everyone will acknowledge that the Ohio State team maybe didn't have any reason to be that concerned about this game. So it's a weird position for the Buckeyes to be in, and that's where you have to have that constant professional mindset. The standard is the standard.
Oh,
Nicole.
Oh, really?
Like, you can't come into this thinking that the players don't think that about this game for sure. I know that the coaches are probably disappointed that this is the game they're in, and so are the players. But once that whistle blows on Friday night, you have to go full speed.
And that goes like a lot of, like Coach Day has said, one game at a time, and so I think you just focus on the game. We don't need to think about what bowl game it is, where we are. It's a game, and we're here to win. That is where I will use the standard is the standard.
My.
You do go in to win. That is more, but it's a goal.
Yeah.
Like, that is your goal. So
the bowl is the goal.
The bowl's the goal?
The bowl is the goal.
Huh.
Yes.
It's also a game that's
catchy.
extremely important for Ohio State moving after this year.
Yes.
And you can think about it from Friday night, be 100%, be ready to go. But it's also like, are you ready for the next wave of this roster? Are those guys, Devin Brown, we had a 30-minute conversation about him on the podcast daily on Thursday. Like, this is a moment for him to say, this is my football team now. Or to say, I'm not ready for that. So there's a lot of things. Like, if you woke up tomorrow and it was cloudy and you're like, oh, cool, it doesn't mean the sun's not going to shine 6 months from now. But like, if you woke up one day and it was cloudy and then it was cloudy the next day, and then you're like, where the hell did the sun go? Like, you still need a little bit of that glimpse once in a while to remind you that you're living in the Midwest and the sun still exists. It's just not there all the time in the winter.
That is very well said.
Yeah,
I
give me
completely
sunshine.
agree with
Is
you.
it?
Well,
Yeah.
I do.
I didn't think so, but I'll take it.
No, I do. I agree. I don't know. I think we're just in a spot where we're not in the national championship game, where that supposedly this standard
Uh-huh.
is being held, and that's
Which is
the part I
which
don't
is an
agree with.
incredibly
that.
unrealistic standard.
Thank you.
Ohio
That's
State
my
has
whole
won
point.
3 national championships in the last 45 years.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you. Yes.
It's more, yeah. So not 2 in the last 45 years, 3 in the last 58 years. So to expect that you win a national championship every year and go undefeated is a crazy standard, but it is what has been accepted. And so, when you fall short, it hurts.
It's been set as a standard, and that's where I just feel that's where the standard is not. It is not relevant. We just can't say that because we need to just work towards that. But we also need to be grateful for where we are too. And we have a great team. And look at
You
our
have
record.
to keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Hey, very well said. I love that, Berm. I like that a
Just
lot.
thought of that myself.
Austin's like, get me out of here.
I don't know what is happening on this show. I know we wouldn't even have one if we didn't have the standard as the standard to fuel the conversation. Nicole, who's going to win on Friday night?
We're gonna win.
Oh, what's the score going to
Obviously. Oh, you know what?
be? You don't even have your notebook out.
I don't. I want to say 38-15.
38-15, Ohio State.
Yes.
A cover and the over. If
That
you're
is
gambling at home.
Yeah, that I wouldn't bet on that, but I'm saying that's just what I'm feeling at the moment.
All right, I love it.
Mhm.
Berm, what do you got?
Ohio State 28, Missouri 24.
Ooh.
28-24.
This is a good Missouri team. They have a very good defense. They're missing a couple of their best players on that side of the ball, which helps Carnell Tate and some of these young receivers get going a little bit. But offensively, Missouri is actually ranked ahead of Ohio State in nearly every single offensive category. Buckeyes without Tommy Eichenberg in the middle, still without Lathan Ransom.
Mhm.
Missouri has a top 10 finisher in the Heisman at running back. They're going to try to ground things down a little bit. It's not going to be super high scoring, I don't think, but 28-24 is still over. And Ohio State cover, I guess.
And
they're
again,
now
it's a
3-point
good
favorite.
team.
Yeah,
It's a good team. They
It's a
made it
top
to
10
the
team.
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, it's a
They
top
made it to
10
the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a game.
It
It's
is.
going to be good.
What is the schedule at Roosters like for New Year's weekend?
So, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So
What's
New
what I'm
Year's
here
Eve,
for.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so we're open all day on New Year's Day, and then New Year's Eve, guys. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Okay.
I can't. I'm getting confused between Christmas Eve. We closed early.
It's a weird week, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
we have
strange
no
week.
idea what day it
I've
is.
had
You
no
know what?
idea all week. I've
I
had to
will
ask
check
them.
the website. Just
Check your local Roosters
Yeah,
website.
yeah. and because
All right.
but we're definitely open on New Year's Day for all the bowl games.
And then we will be back in the Horseshoe Lounge at Roosters next Tuesday, the
Yes.
2nd, the
Tuesday
day
the
after
2nd.
that. So we'll have our first show of 2024. I can't believe it's already here.
I
And it'll
can't
be the
either.
last game of 2023 on Friday night at AT&T Stadium. It is Ohio State and Missouri in the Cotton Bowl. This has been the Horseshoe Lounge. It's brought to you by Roosters. That's Berm and Nicole. I'm Austin Ward. Go see it. It's a fun, casual joint, and enjoy the game on Friday night.